Welcome back. For years, a great essay question for city planning students might be, what do you do with I-375 in Detroit? Years ago, the highway carved up the areas known as Black Bottom and Paradise Valley. But now, we learned last week, federal money is coming to change it dramatically. I've got Stephen Henderson here with me from Detroit Today on WDET, and so good to have back with me John Gallagher, back on the program, longtime reporter for the Free Press, who covered this matter extensively. I don't think would begin to cover it. But we've watched all of these. We've had the call for ideas that the city ran through. There have been so many proposals put forward. We finally get to the point now where something's going to happen. Give me your thumbnail.
Well, the federal government and the state are going to pay $300 million roughly to bring 375 up to the surface and make it a surface street, 3 lanes in each direction with a boulevard and some bike lanes and stuff, and try to knit together the area that's had this gash through it for the last 70 years.
Does this sound like the best? Because as I said, we saw lots of different ideas, and you covered many of them. Does this sound like the best approach?
Well, it's still going to be 3 lanes in each direction, so still a lot of traffic coming downtown. If you really want to solve the problem of connecting, you do more mass transit, build more housing downtown, deal with issues of race and equity and inclusion, but this will help more. It'll be better than what's there now. Better than there.
Stephen, some people have talked about this as being almost a corrective. Can we correct it at this point? I mean, can we can't get those neighborhoods back that were, at least certainly not in the iteration that they had.
See, I would push back on that.
No, please do.
Why can't we? I mean, why can't we at least try?
Okay.
Why can't we go find the families who lost houses and businesses when this was done and say, what would you like to do? Or how can we make you whole for what we took from you? This is an exercise that we're not entirely comfortable with, I know, in this country, but it is becoming more popular. And we're doing it right now in the city anyway. We've got a reparations commission that's studying ways that we can make up for the things that the city did to particularly the African-American population in the past. I think here at I-375, that's kind of ground zero for that discussion because of what happened and the way it happened. And there are lots of other places in the city that have the same issue. The neighborhood where I was born, near Livernois and Grand River, I'm born there in 1970. In 1973, the Jeffries Freeway comes right through there, divides our neighborhood in 2. Neither side has ever recovered from that. You can go all across Detroit and find other instances and have that same discussion. I think we owe it to the people who were wronged by this to have that discussion. Maybe we come up short, maybe we can't make every wrong right, but we sure should be trying.
John, you're nodding your head. This is because some people complain about the way that the reparations conversation is such a broad blanket that you just throw. This is very targeted then. This would be giving it to people who actually have a pretty legitimate claim to having been wronged.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree completely. I know the Barthwell family owned the pharmacies in Black Bottom. They were wiped out with almost no compensation. And this is, you know, in a way, it's a long time ago. It's 75 years. But we know the families that were living there. We have the city directories. We can track down the people whose families, grandparents maybe, who were broomed out of there. And we can talk to them about what would you like and what can we do to help you. Black Bottom, most of Corktown was wiped out. Most of the near north side was wiped out, and elsewhere in the city where the expressways ran through. So yeah, I think that the idea of social justice, it's not just a matter of restoring one street, but really having a larger conversation about how you restore some social justice here.
And can we think a little more creatively about this space? We're going to make another 6-lane street. I mean, we love those in Detroit.
Don't we?
I don't. I think they are antithetical to the kind of walking neighborhoods that people like and that our city planner, Antoine Bryant, is talking about all over the place. I would expect that the city will maybe step up here and say, why don't we make this a neighborhood? Why don't we make this a walkable neighborhood that connects Lafayette Park and the east side to downtown?
We have to face the realities, though, that the city that we've created is one that relies on suburban access to downtown for jobs, right?
It does. It does for jobs, and I don't think you're harming suburban access. If you think about the number of freeways we have in Detroit, I count 5 major freeways cutting the city up. That's more than most cities have. You get rid of this little spur, you're actually not inconveniencing that many people. Most cities, in fact, with their freeways, don't have the freeway come all the way into the central core of downtown either. We have two, the Lodge and I-75, that come right into the middle of downtown, push them back, make those neighborhoods, and people can still get in and out.
But getting rid of 375 isn't like having your appendix out, something that you don't need. John, on game days, concert nights, 375 is packed.
Well, I think the long-term solution is better mass transit and other solutions, you know, to design a city.
Stop me if you've heard this before.
Right, right.
Better mass transit in Detroit.
Right, yeah, right, exactly.
No one's ever suggested.
But it's going to be very busy. As Stephen said, it's really going to be a very busy road. It's still going to bring a lot of traffic right downtown. So I think the authorities kind of flinched a little bit. We're going to try to bring 375 up to the surface, correct an old wrong if we can a little bit, but they flinched on what it means to have, you know, can we really divert all this traffic to somewhere to the north and then have people figure out how to get downtown?
We've just got a little bit of time left. The governor, in her remarks, as Secretary Buttigieg made this announcement last week, talked about, and the mayor did too, about getting more affordable housing in that area. We keep hearing and talking about affordable housing. How's it working to your view?
The problem is how we define affordable.
Yeah, right.
The numbers that we use don't really reach down into the depths of the economic crisis in Detroit. We got to redefine that and do better at making more of it available.
We're going to save that conversation for a future episode of the program. Thanks, guys, so much. John, really great to have you back again.
Thanks very much.
Really, really great. Thanks, Stephen.
Yep.